action.
He was just showing me his canker sore, and I tried to turn the video on, so everyone could see it, but he stopped too soon.
Hi.
Hi. We have debated for about 24 hours about where we were going to do this, and we elected in our bed. This is where all the magic happens, except for it's not. It all happens in a science lab about 15 miles away.
Some of the magic happens. It's just not producing the miracle.
It's definitely magic. I'm surprised he's even doing this with me tonight because it's the NFL draft, and so it's on the TV in the background, but I made him turn the sound up. I care about the draft too, though. But I mean, Cowboys are like number 28. So, so we thought we would tell you kind of like how this all happened for us, how we ended up here. Stop looking at the TV.
I didn't know what you're talking about right now, but okay.
So,
how this all happened.
How it all happened. So when we first met, I knew you really wanted children.
That's true.
And that was like way before we started dating. Way before you wore me down enough to get me to go on a date with you.
Wore you down.
But then when we did start dating, or before we started dating, I think one of the first things I told you was what?
I cannot have children. So if
cannot
you
have
want to
babies.
date me, you need to know this up front. I am not having no babies.
Not because I didn't want to, but because I was told I couldn't.
Yes.
Could not. So
And I think she tried to do that to scare me away, honestly. I think that was like her little like, oh, by the way, I know you want this, and I can't do this, so you can leave now, basically is kind of what you said.
I kind of did do that, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't want to lead you on and make you think that like I could do something that I couldn't, and I knew how important that was to you.
And what did I say to you?
You said you didn't care.
Didn't care.
And I asked him probably about.
I said because I like you for you, not whether or not you can make babies.
It's true. I think I've asked him about 150 times since then. He's pretty well convinced me that it's okay if it doesn't happen. So.
Because there's other options.
There are other options. For whatever reason, after we really started getting serious, which was not very far into our relationship, for those of you that don't know, we started dating in January and got married in July. But we're old. Like, I'm 39. He's almost 62.
Yeah.
He's going to be 40.
Got my ARP card in the mail. So,
he's going to
we're going
be
to
30.
get all discounts.
Totally.
All of them.
I wonder if I give a discount at the fertility clinic.
Ooh, I might. Yeah.
He's going to be 46. And I guess when you're our age, if it's you figure it out, there's just no time to. We decided waiting was for sissies, so.
Yeah, why wait? Why procrastinate?
So we started, speaking of procrastinating, when we went on a trip to Puerto Rico over spring break.
We tried really hard to have babies on that
Yeah,
trip.
we did. I actually decided, hey, let's just, what the heck, I'll get off the pill and see what happens. I've been on the pill for 6 years, mind you, for medical reasons. Why did I think honestly, I must have been delusional at the time because I've been told by multiple doctors. Look at him looking at the screen. I've been told by multiple doctors that I couldn't have children, like that my tubes were scarred, they were blocked. My endometriosis had basically destroyed my bearing parts, if you will, and there was going to be no hope. So what made me think that, I don't know, I got a wild hair, got some idea in my head. So we definitely tried, just the two of us, with no assistance.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try, just the two of us. This is our life. We break into song on the regular. So we started trying a lot. We really worked at it. Unsuccessfully. And then finally in January, I kept telling him, I think this whole time, I think my tubes are closed. I think my tubes are blocked. I think my tubes. I was just really saying it all the time because I was told that by 3 different doctors.
But rewind back to I would say it was either right before we got married or right after we got married, in July, August. She kept saying, I should go to the doctor just to get checked. I should see what's going on.
It's true.
And I kept saying, yes, you should. And you didn't go.
No, I waited a few months and I actually just went to the regular OBGYN.
Yeah, she didn't go because she was scared of what she might find out, is what I think. And
yeah, I didn't want to disappoint him.
And so all of a sudden, we go, and lo and behold,
well, it took a little longer than that, but I went in October to the regular OB-GYN, and
she's good to go.
I was ovulating like almost immediately after getting off the pill. Everything looked good. They did my blood work, and I do have a low-ish ovarian reserve, lower than it should be at my age. So we kept kind of doing our thing for a little while. I wasn't really ready to jump onto the fertility train because I'd ridden it before in my 20s, like through my 20s.
Yeah, but I think you were just worried about what the news you're going to get. See, she was told that your tubes were scarred, your endometriosis crushed your hopes and dreams.
Basically, because it creates lesions which scar over, and I was shown a picture of my tubes that looked like they'd been wound into. I mean, I had a doctor.
They wanted her to have a hysterectomy, right?
Yes, they were very, very excited for me to have a hysterectomy. In fact, I had to have emergency surgery because there was complications with my endometriosis, which we thought was appendicitis. And the doctor came in and said, "Have a hysterectomy. You're never gonna have children." And I was like, "Whoa, those are my organs, bro. Like, why you want to take them out? Like, I need those. Like, they're in there for a reason. Not really ready to lose them." At the time, I was only 31. Yeah, and so I got on the pill for a long time. I went to several other doctors, got different opinions. They all told me the same thing. Fast forward, we're kind of jumping back and forth here, but obviously I went to the OB-GYN, was told that. I was like, I'm surprised I'm even able to ovulate. And my periods were fairly normal, which was completely unusual for me prior to having gotten on the pill. So finally I called the Frisco Institute for Reproductive Medicine, because that was who I was referred to, just to see what we might do. So we had a consult.
Just check the plumbing.
We had a consult. Talked about what we wanted to do. The first thing she wanted to do was schedule me for a hysterosalpingogram, which is also commonly known as an HSG, which is where they thread this catheter up into your cervix. It's super fun, by the way. Like, I really recommend it if you're going to have a lively party weekend. And they inject basically radioactive dye that will show up on an x-ray machine, right? So super painful, really horribly painful. Apparently women with endometriosis, it tends to be more painful. But my tubes were open, like completely open. They did this thing and the doctor says, "Well, your tubes are open." And I told this prior to this, I told her they're going to be closed and scarred. I'm confident. Open, not inflamed, very, very small amount of scar tissue on my right ovary. And I said, that can't be my HSG because that's not possible. And she said, well, you can look at the screen because it's possible. And those are your tubes are perfectly healthy. Ultrasounds, no endometriomas, no sign of endometriosis. I am ovulating regularly. My cycle is weird, but I am ovulating regularly. So that was a huge issue. Like, I really thought there was no way. So I was very surprised. We decided in January that we would start trying, really trying with them. It took a while, and then we started with injectables because they wanted to put me on stuff that would really make my ovaries do their job. And I responded pretty well for the first cycle. I made 2 mature follicles. And then we did the IUI. It was unsuccessable. So at that point, the doctor and we had decided we were going to go straight to IVF, given my age. We don't have a lot of time to play around. And, you're born with as many eggs as you're ever going to have. A woman doesn't continue to reproduce eggs. They're just a finite amount. And as you age, they literally degrade. And you have higher incidence of all kinds of aneuploidy, which is basically like genetic abnormalities of a variety of kinds. For instance, 1 out of every 10,000 embryos of a woman at age 25 will have Down syndrome, but at my age, it's 1 out of 100. So it's a big deal, right? I mean, and of course, people have Down syndrome babies, and they're wonderful and perfectly healthy, but that's just demonstrative of how much age impacts it. So we did this. So we went to start doing the IVF, and at this point I have met my deductible. in 3 weeks in January, I met my deductible for my insurance plan, which is not a low deductible at all. So I looked at my phone buzz. I don't know. And we start to do the IVF now. When people tell you that IVF meds are expensive,
No joke.
it's not like, oh, it's kind of pricey. It's like cashing in your retirement and selling like a kidney and possibly
May or may not have happened.
No one will know.
Cannot confirm or deny
what happens
which one we did.
in the back alley. Just kidding. Anyway, I was lucky enough to apply. We applied for a discount card that's given to people based on their income, because we're both teachers, means we're broke. And so we get a 50% discount on meds. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and tell you how much we spent. We spent $4,700. That's $4,700 on the first round of IVF medication. I was taking 4 shots a day.
I got to give 4 shots a day.
He gave me 4 shots, and my stomach got bruised, and it made me feel like crap. I mean,
I felt like a drug dealer.
Like
literally.
He knows how to do all the
needles.
It's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm on the first time we did IUI, I was only on Follistim, which is a follicle stimulating hormone, and I was on started at 150. They jumped me up to the 300, and I responded really well. Made 2 mature follicles. Had to take the progesterone, which makes you feel like you're pregnant. It's a total mind game. It's awful. Then we jump back into this next cycle, and I'm taking massive amounts of hormones to stimulate my ovarian growth, or my ovary ovum growth. Anyways, making eggs, and nothing happens. Nada. Like, I go in, I'm taking thousands of dollars worth of medication to go in and find out that my E2, which is your estradiol levels, are like 60 when they should be like 500. And I was devastated. Was told, you might consider donor eggs, which I would be totally open to, except for the fact that it's cost $40,000. Like, it legitimately costs $40,000.
People talk to you like you're like Rockefeller, and it's just like 28,
no problem.
40 grand, no big deal. You guys, just go that route.
That's why when people say, well, you should adopt again, I would totally love to adopt again. My son Asher is adopted, and he and Trav have a great relationship, and he's amazing. He's wonderful and perfect, and I couldn't imagine any other way. But what you don't know about adoption is that it is incredibly difficult. I mean, it is years worth of a process. Multiple years sometimes, and upwards of $30,000 to adopt a child privately. And there are other options there, but it's just not something you can just go, oh, I'm going to go adopt a baby. Like, people don't know how incredibly expensive it is. This what we're doing is actually the easiest route for us to go right now.
It still costs a small car, but
it's like a good used Honda Civic.
Anyway, she didn't produce enough follicles.
Yeah, I wasn't producing follicles.
In the middle of it, we switched from IVF back to an IUI for the second time, and
I barely grew 2 eggs, and they were mature, but they were eh.
So the second IUI did not take again, so we're 0 for 2.
Actually, it did well. We had a chemical pregnancy.
Well, that's true. Yes, we.
Which is
whatever that means.
Yeah, it basically means that the egg and the sperm liked each other, and they bonded.
I told you I got some good swimmers.
But the embryo did not attach, and the reason they know that is because they drew my blood, and I had HCG levels which were higher than they should have been, but not high enough. And so
we feel like we're
close.
We're so close right now. So
we're
doctor today
to get my blood work to see if I've ovulated, which I knew I had not ovulated yet because I am very in tune with my body, and I told them that, but it's okay. They're doing their job. Called me, hadn't ovulated yet, and we can't actually start anything until I am ovulatory, which will probably be this weekend. And girls just know. We kind of know when that happens. So I'll go back next Tuesday for blood tests, and if I am, if I've ovulated, then I'll start estrogen priming.
On like Donkey Kong with the shots.
which is, no, it's not. That would be after, that's in a couple weeks.
Oh.
I start estrogen priming, which is basically they're giving me like estrogen, oral estrogen to make the receptors in the eggs like be really open to accepting the follicle stimulating hormones, which we did last time too, but it just didn't work. Our doctor says every cycle is different, and I have talked to many people who've gone through this, and it's true. Every cycle is, some egg receptors are better than others, some egg batches, some whatever. So we're trying again, and we would not be able to try again but for our awesome clinic, who, these girls are incredible. Like, I love the nurses.
Our secrets away.
I'm going to tell them because I want to tell them how great they are.
Okay.
So clinics will often accept medication from clients that patients that are, they're done with their fertility treatments. They have their embryos, they have their blastocysts, everything's good. They have all the leftover meds. They give it to the clinic in case they need it, right? So what we didn't know is behind the scenes is that the nurses were collecting medication for us. I'm going to get all emotional about it. Which is basically enabling us to be able to do this again. But for those ladies, I don't think we can do it. We were basically one and done on this IVF thing because it's that expensive. So they collected almost enough for us to get through a whole cycle, which we're very grateful for. So I did most of the talking.
You're doing a great job.
Do you want to add anything?
No, I don't think anybody's watching anymore because we've been talking too long. So
16 minutes. Well,
yeah, no.
It's kind of a long
if you're
story.
here and you're still paying attention, thank you for still watching.
You're probably
if you've
so
muted
bored
us
right
out,
now.
if you've muted us out and you're watching TV or whatever, just kind of waiting for us to get done to see what happens at the end. Well, we're almost to that point, so we're getting ready to start IVF again. I am like, it's gonna happen. I'm so positive right now.
He's very positive.
I know it's we're there.
We're
getting, every time we do it, we get a step closer. Even though we take a step back, but we get further. I'm thinking if we can actually get her to produce
that's going to be the key.
These grapefruit-sized follicles.
It's ovaries. My ovaries get
whatever.
grapefruits.
They're all gonna, as long as they get big and produce some things, my boys will take care of business. You know what I'm saying?
It's complicated, and there's a lot of these tiny little pieces that have to come together for it to work. But
if you're watching and you're a man, let me tell you something. Take your vitamins.
Oh, yeah.
Take your vitamins, brother! Yeah!
Because his swimmers were kind of...
Yeah, the first time, they were like in mud. And
they were not Spartan swimmers. Nope.
They were not OCR swimmers whatsoever. They couldn't get over,
They couldn't run the savage race.
They weren't savage at all. But
last time
started taking my vitamins, taking my fish oils, and taking my flaxseed oils, and my one a days, and magnesiums, and my B12s because I need the energy. But this last time the boys doubled. Yeah, doubled over the time before that, which doubled over the time before that. So
let me just stop doing that. I'm getting a wrinkle there. What did I just put on my head? Sorry.
Okay, but anyway, I'm glad she's, hold on, I got an ear here. I think I can pull that bad boy out.
I touched it and I have a black spot.
Anyway, take your vitamins. I highly recommend it. And eat well. And don't get sick. When you get sick.
Oh, that was hell. Our first IUI, we had the flu and then he got it. No, you gave me the flu.
Yeah, but I was sick and I had to give my sample and it just was like, they were sick, I think. That's what it was.
My eggs were sick, too.
They had the flu.
My eggs had the flu, too. It was bad.
Take your vitamins. Stay healthy.
So it's gotten better every time. So he's really not the problem. It's me and my rotting eggs.
Oh, yeah.
But, okay, oh my God, we're almost 20 minutes in. We gotta let these people go.
Confused. Yeah. So this has been your daily update.
If you've watched it this long, you're probably our mom or my cousin or my best friend. So I love the three of you for continuing.
But stay tuned for the trailer because that shit's going to be awesome.
He's so cute.
Oops, I swear. I'm sorry. Not supposed to swear, right?
Oh, I don't, they're all adults.
So I'm making us a trailer. So
flex, babe. Let's flex for the camera.
Flex for the camera, baby. Give me some.
Okay. All right. Tell everyone bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you for
Bye.
watching.
Thanks for watching.